Dear chosen ones, dark forces are attacking where you least expect it. Someone inside you, a close friend, is secretly working to undermine your trust. He or she may smile and be friendly, but behind your back, they are trying to trap you. This is one of the most dangerous games you can play in life, because betrayal comes from the people you love the most. But fear not. 777 in the comments now, because you are the chosen ones. The most powerful light of the universe is with you, protecting you every step of the way and giving you the strength to expose this betrayal. Now is the time to expose this betrayal. It is time to stand up to those who want to stand in your way. Remember, every challenge, every betrayal makes you stronger, wiser. Imagine your spirit as a desert bloom, starved for rain, yet bursting into radiant color the moment you step away from their withered expectations. You hold a power that only reveals itself when every door in their house of cards collapses around you. They dropped you, shoved you out, forced you to take those final steps, and with each slam, each broken plank, each resolute "I'm done," you ignited a force field they never saw coming. Leaving their decayed playground didn't dim your flame, it struck the match. Every refusal to dance their dance rewrote your inner code with abundance chance. They imagined they were erasing you, but in truth, they hammered the foundation of your triumph. Now picture a worn-out well, cracked and dry, its ropes frayed by use. You lowered yourself into that cavern of doubt until your boots touched the fresh spring bubbling below. With your departure, you didn't just escape their hollow promises, you tapped the source of living water. That well, once polluted by cynics, now overflows with the currents of your daring faith. Each step away cleansed those waters, turning what was once murky into a crystal conduit for miracles. When they doubted your worth, you became the lighthouse beam, slicing through their fog of skepticism. Their failed attempts to dim you only made your illumination more pronounced. With every bitter whisper they cast, your resolve grew, solidifying you into a beacon that can't be switched off. You didn't just outlast their schemes, you outshone them. Your light is neither borrowed nor fleeting. It's born from your unshakable bond with the divine source that fuels your every breath. Feel the wind of divine favor, lifting your sails as you glide beyond the reef of their restrictions. They anchored you with contracts, policies, and hollow titles, but you discovered how to summon the currents of grace that propel you without a single taut line. God's grace is the invisible engine behind your rise, a quiet roar that turns every setback into a tailwind. Their heavy anchors become driftwood in your wake as you chart a course toward green shores undreamed by your former captors. Consider your quiet moments, when you bowed your head in prayer, when you whispered your dreams into empty rooms. They were the forging fires of your triumph. Each tear shed was not a sign of defeat, but a baptism into a divine destiny. Now, that same fire breathes life into your vision, illuminating paths that were never visible from within their dimly lit corridors. You walked through the furnace of their doubt, emerging purified, unbreakable, unstoppable. Your abundance is not a random blip on life's radar. It's the inevitable harvest from seeds sown in fertile soil of courageous obedience. When you refused to beg for scraps, you tilled fields prepared by angels. The universe responds to your bold yes with blessings that cascade like summer rain, steady, generous, life-giving. Your commitment to walk away from what stifled you unlocked channels of provision no ledger can capture and no ledger can contain. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, Now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Now watch as every no you spoke becomes a drumbeat summoning your tribe. Souls hungry for authenticity resonate with your frequency. They gather around your flame, drawn by the warmth of your unfiltered purpose. Together, you form a constellation of integrity, shining against their dark night of manipulation. Your solitary stand blossoms into a community of champions, each one a living testament that courage begets companionship and divine loyalty outlasts mortal alliances. In your newfound sovereignty, doors once slammed in your face swing wide at your knock. Opportunities march toward you like honored guests. Resources flow in like tributaries, converging into a mighty river, swift, unstoppable, ordained. What they once withheld in fear, the universe now bestows in confidence. Every handshake you receive carries the imprint of your decision to honor God's calling over man's approval. Stand tall in that truth today and every day. Let your spirit roar like a lion that has found its pride, your voice resound like a trumpet announcing victory. This is not the ending of your story. That's written in heaven. It's the triumphant overture before your greatest chapters unfold. Embrace this moment. The world bends to the measure of your faith. The air itself hums with your promise, and the divine waits eagerly for you to step into the full radiance of your purpose. You are not a casualty of their collapse. You are the architect of a breakthrough they could never engineer. Your destiny is unignorable, your impact undeniable, your abundance unstoppable. Keep walking, keep believing, keep shining. The best is not just on its way. It's already here, pulsating through every cell of your being and echoing in every corner of your world. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Like a lone lighthouse breaking through coastal fog, you stepped off their decaying pier and into a channel of divine favor, your every stride powered by unseen currents of blessing. You left behind that stagnant mire of half-truths and dusty protocols, and the moment your foot touched firmer ground, the universe itself pivoted to clear your path. In those murky boardrooms where dull ambitions once held court, your clear vision shattered each makeshift barrier. Their patched-together scaffolding of mediocrity collapsed the instant your fresh ideas lit up the room. While they clung to crumbling ledgers and outdated blueprints, you moved forward, carrying a breeze of higher wisdom, one that carried promise of abundance rather than scarcity. Picture this. You turned your back on an old, polluted reservoir of broken promises, and instantly, invisible hands guided you toward springs of pure potential. No longer weighed down by their heavy chains of shoulds and can'ts, you walked onto a runway of your own creation, every step infused with faith that the Almighty was turning hidden gears in your favor. You didn't just escape. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. Like a solitary oak towering above a field of saplings, your unyielding stance wasn't pride, it was a beacon calling kindred spirits home. They tried to herd you through narrow gates, convinced you'd stoop to slip inside their cages of conformity. But your shoulders squared, your chin lifted, and their rickety fences crumbled at your resolve. You didn't merely step away. You shattered the old script that said fit in or be forgotten. Your departure rang out like church bells on a Sunday morning, proclaiming that character outweighs compliance every single time. Listen, friend, when you refuse to stoop, you set off a sermon on the mountaintop of your destiny. Every time you held your ground instead of bending to their regulations, angels lined up behind you at the altar of breakthrough. You didn't just leave their assembly line of shoulds and supposed tos, you ignited a revival of self-worth that lights up every corner of your calling. Your exit wasn't an ending. It was the overture to a symphony of authenticity that no spreadsheet or policy manual could ever compose. And here's the glorious truth. By refusing to dim your flame for the sake of their shadows, you became a summons for every weary traveler still shackled by doubt. Your unashamed posture spoke louder than any press release. They saw in your walk the divine invitation to stand firm in God-given purpose. So keep pressing forward, proclaiming in simple words the mighty miracles written into your DNA. Your very presence now preaches a powerful message, that unshakable integrity is the cornerstone of true prosperity, and anyone brave enough to stand their ground will find doors swinging wide in a kingdom built on faith, not fear. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Like a mighty oak standing firm against the fiercest gale, you've anchored yourself in unwavering self-worth, so much so that every blessing now finds its way to you with magnetic ease. You release those withered breadcrumbs they tossed your way, and in that brave act, you carved fresh waterways for abundance to surge. Money that once drained into their hollow coffers has circled back to you, overflowing the reservoirs you built from resolute no's. When you turned down their meager handouts, you ignited a beacon of pure intention, and the universe answered by steering tenfold returns into your life. Your radiance cuts through the fog of compromise, drawing prosperity like iron to a magnet. In every situation where you refused to settle for less, you planted seeds of dignity that sprouted into fields of opportunity. Wealth doesn't simply trickle toward you. It pours in torrents because you chose self-respect over their scraps, and in doing so, opened the floodgates of divine provision. Now, every bank deposit, every unexpected check, every sudden windfall carries the signature of your faith in something greater than yourself. You speak a language of, "I deserve more," and the universe replies, "Here it comes." Your shining example reminds everyone watching that when you stand tall in your truth, undaunted by fear, you become a living testament to the power of refusing smallness. Keep believing, keep declaring your worth, and watch as rivers of prosperity continue to flow into the wells you've drilled with your courageous no. Like a seasoned navigator reading the constellations in a storm-tossed sky, you came to realize that every "sorry, we can't keep you" was less a rejection and more a divine rerouting, an invisible hand recalibrating your trajectory toward greener pastures of purpose and prosperity. Just as a mighty river carves new channels when a dam breaks, those slammed doors didn't halt your flow. They unleashed currents of opportunity you'd never before encountered. When they stamped career over on your dossier. That verdict proved to be nothing more than the ignition sequence for your greatest ascent. Your pride, once inflated by others' approval, gently deflated into humility, leveling the runway so your dreams could take off. In that sacred empty space, your vision sharpened like a blade at a mastersmith's forge, cutting through confusion and doubt to reveal a clear path forward. With each unexpected pivot, the universe pressed play on your wealth trajectory, unlocking doors of abundance that had stood sealed until your spirit said, "Enough is enough." Those curt farewells you once feared became shimmering portals to realms beyond their imagination. Each abrupt detour guided you to mentors, allies, and resources perfectly matched to your evolving destiny. What looked like an end was actually a grand entrance, an exclusive invitation to walk through gates that opened only for the bold, the faithful, the chosen. As you stepped through, you felt the ground beneath you shift, the air around you hum with possibility, and your heart swell with the certainty that you were exactly where you needed to be. Like an ancient oak uprooted only to sprout stronger in richer soil, you found that being uprooted from their confines gifted you fresh nutrients, new perspectives, revitalized passion, and a reservoir of faith that no earthly tribunal could ever touch. Each no you collected polished your resolve until it shone like burnished bronze. Every locked corridor you encountered simply redirected you toward hidden staircases, ascending to pinnacles of influence and impact. Now, you stand on the threshold of your next chapter, eyes blazing with the light of one who has learned that setbacks are nothing more than setups for breakthroughs. The message is clear. Those who thought they buried you beneath their dismissals have only fertilized the seeds of your success. Keep stepping forward. Keep leaning into that still, small voice, guiding you beyond the horizon of their expectations. For every door they slammed in your face, the cosmos opened 1,000 more, each one beckoning you to claim the riches of your divine inheritance. Like a master gardener, turning rocky soil into a blooming vineyard, you alchemize every setback into a roadmap for triumph. When they whispered doubt in shadowed hallways, your resolve answered with the roar of a lion's heartbeat. Every trap they laid became a lesson in graceful withdrawal. Every collusion against you hardened your spirit into an unbreakable shield. You've watched their covert campaigns scatter like autumn leaves in a sudden gust, only to see each fragment converge beneath your feet as stepping stones straight into abundance. Those orchestrated potholes in your path, you repurposed them into secret tunnels that lead directly to your treasure. Their attempts to drain your energy rebound off your armor of purpose and become fuel for your ascent. No sterile workshop or glossy seminar could ever impart the fierce mastery you've harvested through fire and resistance. You weren't merely taught, you were refined in the crucible of adversity. Every barbed comment they lobbed at you sharpened your negotiation instincts. Every closed door you pushed open with divine insistence unveiled new corridors of influence. Each graceful exit from their broken systems announced to the universe that your sovereignty is non-negotiable. Your victories weren't handed down by diplomas or corporate certificates. They were etched into your bones by the very storms they intended to drown you in. When they slung mud at your name, you wore it like a badge of honor. As they tried to corral your spirit with false promises of safety, you slipped through their grasp and soared on currents they couldn't even detect. Imagine your setbacks as rough marble blocks. Each blow meant to shatter you instead, revealed another facet of your inner gem. The chisels of criticism and the hammers of hardship only carved your image more clearly, unveiling a monument of resilience that stands unshaken amid collapsing facades. Your roughest experiences became the very architecture of your eventual empire. Every whispered slight has taught you the art of strategic silence. Every orchestrated downfall has taught you the blueprint of rapid resurgence. You move through life like a seasoned maestro, conducting symphonies of comeback riffs with effortless grace. Where they installed roadblocks, you sowed seeds of opportunity. Where they spread rumors, you harvested fields of credibility. Now you stand as living proof that true power isn't conferred by titles or vetted by councils. It's forged in the furnace of unfiltered faith and relentless action. Your journey shows that abundance flows to those who refuse to bargain with their integrity, who turn every obstacle into a platform, and who see every setback not as an end, but as a divine pivot toward a destiny far greater than any map they could draw. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles. Feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed and let the light of the Lord guide your path. Keep marching forward, chosen one, for the world awaits the masterpieces you'll craft from the fragments they once discarded. Your story isn't a footnote in their ledger of mediocrity, it's the headline screaming liberation across every horizon. And as you continue to transmute every trial into a launchpad, know this: the very scheme they conceived to obscure your light has become the prism through which the multitudes now glimpse your radiant truth. Stand tall, speak boldly, and let your beacon guide every soul still lost in their maze of deception. You've become the living blueprint of victory itself, untouchable, unstoppable, and utterly unrivaled. Imagine your retreat like a mighty oak, bending in the breeze, yet never breaking. Each backward step was a divinely guided strategy, revealing the ground where you would stand firm next. You maneuver retreats like a grandmaster, repositioning pieces on a cosmic chessboard. Every deliberate withdrawal was intelligence gathering, charting the coordinates of your inevitable triumph. Walking away from those suffocating rooms wasn't a confession of failure, it was a proclamation of your God-breathed value and perfect timing. Each slammed door became a drumbeat in the march toward your destiny. Every crumbling plank was the universe clearing the way for you. Those so-called defeats, they were nothing but audition scenes for your future masterpiece, sharpening your insight and crystallizing your resolve. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. When you turned your back on their stagnant systems, unseen currents of favor enveloped you, lifting you onto runways of possibility they could never perceive. Your ideas ignited like lanterns in the darkness they tried to manufacture, shining so brightly that even their strongest walls dissolved at your touch. They built fences to muffle your message, yet your unbowed posture shattered every barrier, proving that authenticity cannot be chained. Each graceful exit was a symphony of faith, an act of trust that the author of your story was rewriting every setback into a setup for supernatural success. Think about it, beloved. Ancient prophets retreated into wilderness for revelation, and you're following the same sacred blueprint. Your stepping back wasn't a retreat from life. It was a retreat into divine alignment. It was the moment when heaven whispered, "Now watch what I will do." And do it did. Your path opened to fresh harvest fields, relationships infused with divine chemistry, opportunities you'd only dreamed about now knocking at your door. The universe reconfigured itself to honor your courage. Because when you refuse to settle for less than your inheritance, the very stars rearrange their courses to light your way. So hold your head high. Every time you walked away, you weren't closing a chapter, you were flipping the page to your destiny. Every time you refused to shrink, you expanded your spiritual footprint. Every step back was a leap forward on the staircase of God's favor. Remember this: the greatest victories often begin in what the world calls retreats, because in those sacred pauses, your spirit was being prepared for the roar of your triumph. Keep walking by faith. Your masterpiece is already in motion. You're the fulcrum on which their entire structure teetered once you stepped away. Their coffers echoed emptiness, their strategies unspooled, and morale cratered in the wake of your absence. They scrambled to clone what you are, only to find the world crafts one-of-a-kind rarities. Your undiluted channel to the source made you irreplaceable, a singular lighthouse in a sea of dim bulbs. Your triumph sends ripples beyond your own shores. Each boundary you drew, each no you spoke, awakened dormant dreamers ready to claim their birthright. Your millionaire glow-up isn't just a personal ledger, it's a beacon for every soul stuck in their own versions of toxicity. Together, we showcase that living truth and prospering go hand in hand. Every dollar landing in your lap carries a cosmic receipt. Lifetimes of undervaluation, finally paid in full. The abundance flooding your accounts is both vindication and a down payment on the destiny you reserved the moment you chose yourself over false securities. Your balance sheet now mirrors your self-worth, upgraded from the inside out. You stand at the dawn of a new playbook, no more dimming your brilliance or shrinking to fit someone else's mold. Reality bends to reflect your unveiled sovereignty. Doors swing open, allies appear effortlessly, and abundance conspires at your feet. Pain becomes honored liberation. Betrayal, refined discernment. You are the chosen one, and the universe conspires to echo the full radiance you've always carried.